Hello, everybody, and welcome, college baseball fans, to the very first episode of the Mid-Major Baseball Rundown with your host, Gavin Butler. This is your best podcast for mid-major baseball news, insights, interviews, and more. I'm joined by my very first guest, Bellarmine first baseman AJ Swader. AJ, how are you doing this evening?
I'm good, man. I appreciate you having me on here.
Yeah, I appreciate you taking the time to answer some questions. So, without further ado, let's talk some ball.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. So, first thing I want to ask you is, you've grinded your way through the JUCO and D2 levels before ending up at Bellarmine. What would you say is the biggest lesson you've learned either on or off the field throughout that journey?
I would say my biggest lesson is just everything happens for a reason. I'm a big believer in God myself, and I truly believe that where I'm at right now is where I'm meant to be. Where I was at 2 years ago is also where I was meant to be.
For
Um,
sure. Yeah, I'm a big
yeah.
believer in that too. Everything happens for a reason,
For sure.
destiny and fate, and hard work helps
Oh
you
yeah.
realize that. Yeah. Um, I also want to ask about the game tying home run that you hit yesterday. So, kind of just walk us through your mindset, what was going through your head right before you stepped up into the box for that.
So it's just, I was talking to one of our grad assistants, and I was like, I feel like all I have to do right now is like all I can do is like hit a home run for like our team, which like I'm every time I go up to the plate trying to hit a homer, it never happens. And he told me, he was like, well, you can't do that because that's just not going to work. Get back to your approach, which is just staying in the big part of the field, swing at a good pitch, and good things will happen. It's another thing.
Yeah, for
Everything that
sure.
happens, everything that happens for a reason. So I mean, I knew it was gone off the bat. I don't know if anybody else did, but like, when you get it, you know. So I hit it, tried to get my team hyped up, which we ended up losing, but I mean, it was competitive, so we can't ask for much more. But yeah, I mean, it's always fun to hit a game time home run. It's more fun to hit like go ahead home run, but what all can you really ask for?
Yeah, only can control the things that you can control. I can tell you
Oh
from
yeah,
seeing the video, it looked real good off the
oh
bat.
yeah.
It looked like a no doubter. So, yeah. So I also want to ask, I saw your guys' Friday game had a start time of 11 a.m., which is, par for the course in college baseball. But with those early start times, do you like that, or do you think it helps to have some more prep time throughout the day, but have like a later first pitch?
Um, coming from Coming from a guy who's played D2 baseball, who has to do 1-9 on Friday and then a doubleheader on Saturday, which the doubleheader mainly starts around noon. Um, I think I'm more used to it than the people who have played D1 for their whole lives. I do enjoy like a later start time, just so I can get that extra hour of sleep.
Hmm.
But I'm not gonna say I don't like an early start time, especially when like family's there, you get to play, get them to watch, and then you get to hang out with family, you get to hang out with your teammates after, get to do whatever. But I would probably prefer later. I'd say 1 is probably my favorite time to start. 11 is just a little early.
A little early. Like you're getting out of bed and you're going right to game
Oh
prep.
yeah.
Like,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. All right. So I also want to ask, you've been putting up some incredible numbers this season. You've put the ASUN conference on notice, leading the conference in extra base hits, RBI, and slugging percentage at the time of this interview. Do you feel like this has led to opposing pitchers attacking you differently? And how do you respond to that?
Definitely for sure. Because especially in our conference, we play each team twice on our side of the bracket. So we play a series at home and a series away. So the first time through the series is kind of just like getting used to like figuring out who can hit, who can pitch, and then the second time is really like keying in on those certain players. And I guess we've had 2 series now where we've played the same team with Austin P and UCA. And I think the biggest thing for me, like learning now, is kind of just like they're not going to be they're not going to want to pitch to me, or like or some other players on our team, if there's like a base open. Not saying they're just gonna like walk you, but they're gonna try and make you get yourself out, which is something that I've seen the last 2 weekends. And I'm still trying to make that adjustment. Like this weekend, I really had to force myself to be okay with going backside or staying up the middle instead of
Mhm.
them trying to just throw a middle and get myself out. They're trying to go low and away or away, more off speed. So it's just kind of learning the game, learning how I'm getting pitched, and just adjusting off that after each pitch. Not each at bat, but each pitch.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Definitely. I could see a lot more pitchers, trying to throw in the dirt off speed, trying to make you guess, stuff
Hmm.
like that. That
For
totally
sure.
makes sense.
For sure.
All right. So it was great talking ball with you. I want to move into some more fun, lighthearted questions to wrap things up. So if you didn't play baseball, what sport would you find yourself playing?
Oh, it's a tough one. I always get told that I look like a football player,
Okay.
but I don't really think I am would have a certain position. Like
Okay,
I'm
yeah, fair
I'm too
enough.
short to be on the line. I'm not like big enough to be like a linebacker or tight end, but I'm not fast enough to be like a skill player. So my favorite sport growing up has always been basketball to play. So I think I would like to play basketball, but I wasn't very good at it. I was just kind of bigger than everybody else. So,
Yeah, I played in high school. I was definitely a glue guy role player
oh
off the
yeah,
bench.
oh yeah,
Wasn't a necessarily knockdown shooter or throwing down reverse 360s. I'll tell you
yeah. No,
that
I had to switch to the church league basketball when high school
much.
came around.
I hear you. Yeah, it was either like go start play every minute in church league or sit on the bench for an AAU team
Oh
for
yeah,
me.
yep.
All right. So I also want to ask, I feel like I got to ask this because I'm from the north. I'm in upstate New York. You're from the south.
Mhm.
So where in the south has the best barbecue? I always hear about, the barbecue down there, and I've never really been down there, so I got to ask
Mhm.
from the source.
You know, I'm big. I haven't had it, but I've been told my whole life that Memphis barbecue, there's something different about Memphis, Tennessee barbecue.
Yeah, that's what
So
I hear. Memphis and Nashville are like the two
yeah,
spots I know. Yeah.
Nashville's good barbecue, but the
Okay.
way that people that I've been around have talked about Memphis barbecue, it sounds like something that's better than Nashville barbecue.
All right. All
So I'm
right.
gonna have to try it before I let you know, but like if you're ever down south, I would go to Memphis if you want some good barbecue.
All right, thanks for the recommendations. And
Oh
then
yeah.
one last question, one more cool, fun one to wrap it up. If you could choose one musical artist from any point in time to play live music at one of your games, who would it be?
Okay, this is gonna sound crazy. I might get a lot of hate for it, but I'm going Rod Wave.
Oh,
That's
I
my
like
guy.
Rod.
I have him on my hoodie right now. I put on the
Yeah,
Rod Wave
nice.
hoodie for this.
Nice.
But
Yeah.
no, I mean that's my favorite guy. I listened to him. I ended up going to my first concert with my girlfriend this past Christmas break. I I love Rod Wave. If I wanted to do like a little more upbeat or something, I might have to change it to somebody else. I don't know who, but I mean, I got to go with Rod Wave. And I'll
I
probably
like
get some
that
hate
answer.
for it, but
Yeah, he would definitely get the energy up. I could tell you that much.
oh yeah.
Big
Oh
energy,
yeah.
man. Yeah. All right. So I think that just about wraps it up. That's about all the time that we have here for questions. So thank you so much, AJ. It was wonderful getting to meet you, and best of luck rest of your season, man.
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You as well.
Thank you. All right, everybody. So that concludes the first interview of the Mid-Major Rundown podcast. And with that, I want to transition into some housekeeping stuff. So I'm going to try and start each one of these shows off with an interview such as that. We'll have players such as AJ, coaches, media from the game, just someone from around the game of college baseball to kick off each show. I want to get voices from just from around the game who can share their perspective and share stories with all of us because I'm not a Division I baseball player. I'm not a Division I coach. I never have been. I've always been on the media side of this. And I feel like it is best, these stories and experiences are best when they're delivered firsthand, which is why I want to give, players and coaches a platform and opportunity to talk baseball and, grow the game. It's real great stuff there. So a little bit about me. My name is Gavin Butler. As I mentioned before, I live in upstate New York. I've been a big baseball and basketball guy all my life. I started out as more of an NBA and MLB guy, to be honest. Wasn't as into the college game growing up, and then had some very fortunate work opportunities to be around college baseball and basketball up in my neck of the woods, up in the Northeast. I've been to a lot of Siena, a lot of UAlbany games. I'm a University at Buffalo alum, so they actually do not have a college baseball team. They've got the minor league Buffalo Bisons, affiliate of the Toronto Blue Jays. Um, so I plan on doing one of these style shows once a week. Keep releasing these probably Tuesday mornings for the time being. Maybe we'll switch to Monday night shows, maybe even live shows at some point if we can get the support behind that, if we can get a following and get a live audience who will actually want to tune in. So if that's something you guys want, let me know. Also with that, I want to just say thank you. Thank each and every single one of you. I want to sincerely thank all of you who are listening to this right now, who have supported the page in any way, shape, or form, who have checked out my interviews with the UAlbany guys, Matthew Mariano and Trey Mariano, no relation between the two. Anyone who has read any of my articles, it means so, so much. Like, I am so thankful, so grateful for every single one of your reads, your likes, your shares. Please, if this is content that you guys really, truly enjoy and value, please continue to like, comment, share, subscribe. Talk about this with your friends, if you want to sponsor the show, I don't have any ad sponsors right now. I would love one. If you want to sponsor this, if you think that this can get you exposure, it will. I will grow this and I will get you exposure. And, I'll get a sponsor that I want, and you will get to spread your name. Also, if anyone thinks that they have the chops for content creation and loves college baseball, send me your portfolio. I'm looking for creators. This is a lot of work to do by myself. I'll be honest. Starting this up, promoting it, content farming, like everything. It's a lot. I have a day job too. I'm really just grinding, and I really do mean it when I say that I want to grow this into something big, something meaningful. And it's going to take support from each and every one of you to get it there. All right. So thank you all again. I'll give series recaps, previews, analysis, insights, stories, interviews, such as my interview with AJ to start the show. There's just going to be so much going on with this show that I really just want to keep it growing. With that, I don't want to keep repeating myself. So let's talk baseball. All right. I want to talk about the Gonzaga Bulldogs. How about them Zags? They've been getting a lot of love on the show recently, but it's for good reason. The Gonzaga Bulldogs have won their last 14 consecutive games. This marks their program record and the best in the NCAA. They started out pretty rough. They lost 7 of their first 9. They had that series loss at Hawaii to open the season. So it hasn't been smooth sailing the whole way for the Zags, but they have been killing it since. They lost 7 of their first 9, lost just 7 of their next 32. It's a lot more than 9. All right. Special shout out to designated hitter. I emphasize that hitter because this guy freaking hits. Maddox Haley. Mr. Haley has a 29 game hit streak right now. Yeah, you heard that right. 29, more than halfway to DiMaggio for those keeping count. Maddox Haley also has double-digit home runs. He's got 10 at the moment at the time of this recording. And his batting average hasn't dipped below 400 since March 22nd. This is someone that, he's been killing it. Gonzaga's a good mid-major. In that winning streak, they had a road sweep of St. Mary's, which is massive, to go into your rival's house and take all 3 games when, they're a pretty good team. St. Mary's has good pitching, well-coached squad. It's real impressive what the Zags have been doing recently. They sit 31st in RPI right now. I saw that they were left out of the D1 Baseball Top 25 rankings that were released earlier this morning. At first, first glance, I was looking at it. I didn't like that. I thought they had at least earned, a 25, 24. There's some teams in there who I don't know why they're still ranked. I'm looking at you, West Virginia Mountaineers. Why are the West Virginia Mountaineers still ranked after losing 23-1 at home against their rival, the Pitt Panthers, and also dropping the weekend series to Cincinnati? I'm not so sure about that. But also looking at it, the overall resume for Gonzaga, it's a little tough to evaluate because of that, rough start. Most teams can't really go and lose dropped three on the road to Hawaii early in the season and, want to preserve RPI and be a top 25 ranked team. I guess we're really just going to have to find out the rest of the way. They definitely have the opportunity to earn their way into the rankings. They have a huge schedule this week. Today they actually go on the road to the Oregon Ducks in what should be an exciting midweek contest. After that, the Zags head back home to host Santa Clara in a three-game set. So this week they will have the opportunity to improve their streak to 18. Certainly be tuning in to see how that goes. So I also want to talk about the CUSA. So some crazy stuff happened this weekend. On Friday, Liberty, who has been very good this season, right around top 25 in RPI. Let me see. As of right now, Liberty is currently 35th in RPI, so still pretty solid. They could definitely make a little tournament run, make a run at Omaha. Um, but on Friday, they did drop the first game of their series to Delaware. They would come back to take the next two. That was a great recovery. They have Charlotte at home in the Tuesday matchup before traveling to New Mexico State next weekend. Also in the CUSA, a crazy comeback on Sunday over at the Triple P, the Pat Patterson Park, as La Tech storms back from down 8-2 in the ninth inning to come back and win against the Missouri State Bears and sweep the series. A walk-off infield single by Sebastian Mexico capped off a seventh run ninth inning for the Bulldogs. Congrats to those guys down in Louisiana. Both of these teams take part in some marquee matchups next weekend out in the CUSA. La Tech hits the road for Dallas in a showdown against DBU, Dallas Bombers, Dallas Baptist University. And the Bears will look to get back on track against Jack State with not a ton of time left before the postseason. That's a huge series against a very solid opponent down in the CUSA. Another comeback that was reminiscent of that La Tech crazy game was the Georgia State Panthers on Sunday. This one was pretty similar to La Tech's. It was also one of the picks I gave out over the weekend was Georgia State winning this contest. So yeah, I had eyes on this one while it was happening. I wasn't able to watch it live. I was at the U Albany game. Check out those videos from the boots on ground coverage for U Albany's series conclusion against the New Jersey Institute of Technology. I'll be honest, I looked when they were down 7-2 in the top of the ninth, and I thought it was cooked. Yeah, not too often that you're down 5 runs in the ninth and are able to swing it back. I got home, hopped in the shower after I covered that game and got out and thought I was reading the score wrong. I saw Georgia State win and I'm like, what? Um, Fantastic, phenomenal comeback win for the Panthers. Also for La Tech. Both of you guys, great job. Congratulations to Willis McGinnis for his 10th inning walk-off home run for the Panthers. Huge victory there. And they'll look to continue their momentum. Some more series highlights from this past weekend is unranked Stanford sweeping the Florida State Seminoles. I'm not sure too many people had that one on their radar. Great series sweep for Stanford there. Could not come at a worse time for Florida State. Not good, not good dropping all three of those games. You hope to at least take one. You got to win that series, to be honest. Not good for that. Sac State taking the series finale at UCLA and flirting with some wins in the other games too. They really got up for this game. Brock Chalowski still went yard. Um, that happens. Can't do much to stop that. It's a Sac State pitcher, but great win for them on Sunday, taking down the number one ranked Bruins. We also saw the East Carolina Pirates picking up a huge sweep of South Florida to get back in the zone. They had been struggling a little bit over the past few weeks before that, but a great series sweep in the American Conference for the Pirates on ECU. And another big sweep in the SoCon as Mercer sweeps Wofford at home. Again, another underdog picking up a sweep. Huge, huge 3 wins for the Mercer Bears as they close the gap in the SoCon. Wofford could have really ran away, extended their SoCon lead in the standings. They are now just one game ahead of Mercer. Going to make for a very exciting last few weeks before the postseason. Also, the Pitt Panthers. What a week. Wow. Taking down West Virginia 23-1 in Morgantown in the backyard brawl. Incredible, just beatdown of West Virginia there. After that, they followed it up by sweeping UVA, another ranked team. Virginia, a little bit of a slip up recently. Picked up that midweek loss to VCU. Now some losses to Pitt. They're going to look to get back on track. But shout out Pitt Panthers. Playing some great baseball down the stretch. We also saw a rivalry sweep as the Kansas Jayhawks went into Manhattan and swept Kansas State. Huge three wins there for Kansas. And with that, I'm going to move on to some previews for the next week. So as we talked about, we have that huge Gonzaga Oregon game today. We also have some big CUSA series next weekend, as we discussed before. And getting back to the midweek, number 9, Coastal Carolina, one of the top mid-majors in the country at the moment, goes to Chapel Hill to take on the number 2 North Carolina Tar Heels. That is going to be a great must-watch matchup, a great appetizer for the Zags and Oregon game. Two just back-to-back fantastic must-watch games. All these times that I'm going to give out will be in Eastern time because I myself reside on the Eastern time zone. So I apologize to all my Western and Central Time listeners for the tremendous amount of mental math that I'm forcing you to do to understand the time that these games are slated to start. So Coastal UNC starts at 6 p.m. Eastern. Zags Oregon is at 9:05. In between, we also have the rematch between UCLA and UC Santa Barbara. Last time out, Santa Barbara took down number 1 UCLA. This time, this game will be played at Santa Barbara. The last upset was on the 15th, almost 2 weeks ago. So we'll see if they can do it again at their own house. Also at 6 p.m., we've got High Point taking on Campbell in a matchup of the best of the Big South versus the CAA. Also, over the weekend, we have some great matchups. We have number 8, Auburn, who has been pitching phenomenally. They have one of the best pitching staffs in the country. Headed to College Station to take on the Aggies. That's a great series right there. Three great games. We also have number 10, Mississippi State, hitting the road to take on the 4th-ranked Texas Longhorns. Mississippi State will be entering that series coming off their first series sweep of LSU in 41 years. So a fantastic accomplishment. Shout out to Mississippi State. And they can sweep Texas too, then. Wow, everyone's on notice. All right. We also have number 25, the Florida Gators, taking on the Sooners in Oklahoma. Two teams that haven't been as hot recently. Florida, especially, definitely needs to take some wins here to stay in their rankings, preserve RPI, heading into Omaha. We've got Wichita State taking on UTSA in the American. UTSA will be at home in that one. Very good mid-major series between two very solid teams. We've got in the MAAC, Ryder at Niagara, two of the top teams up in the Northeast. Real good mid-major matchup there. App State headed to Troy in the Sun Belt. Troy coming off of their series win against Marshall. Check out the series preview up on the website from last weekend. Troy took 2 out of 3 in that set. And of course, the Zags hosting Santa Clara. If they can take this next one against the Ducks, then that sets up the potential for 18 and a real phenomenal, impressive program record-setting streak, as I mentioned earlier, for the Zags, and definitely a team that I'm going to be zoning in on with coverage as this season continues. And I think that will wrap it up for show number 1. We only have a few more weekends left before conference tournaments. There's so many important games from here on out. I'm thinking I want to continue to do these shows once a week. Maybe in the future we can up that to 2, maybe 3 shows a week. For now, I'm going to stick with 1. I'm thinking Monday recording, edit overnight, and then get posted by Tuesday morning. So if you made it this far, again, I sincerely want to thank you for your listenership. This podcast will continue to be put out on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Please spread the word. If you have any, friends, family, coworkers, acquaintances, cousins, your vets, sisters, cousin, if they like baseball, put them on. I want to keep delivering content for the people, straight from the game and keep giving you guys the rundown So that concludes episode one. Thank you all so much, and be back same time next week. Thank you, everybody.